and we're going to break things down. We're going to wrap this show with, of course, our round two tips. Donnie, the tip master. Let's get into it because the first game of round two is going to be Carlton and Collingwood. Two teams coming off of losses. Who avoids going 0-2?
Oh, the old rivals get back at each other for sure. And I don't know. I kind of hemmed and hawed on this one because I wasn't sure, should I take Collingwood for who they played against the Western Bulldogs, or Collingwood that does get one of their elite superstar midfielders and Steel Sidebottom back going into this season. But I'm gonna go with the young whippersnappers. I'm gonna go with Carlton. I think Paddy Cripps had an incredible game. I think they played really, really well against Richmond. And I think Carlton's got more positive momentum going into this week than Collingwood does. Yes, they get still side bottom back, but he's going to be a little rusty after an off season and everything like that, and missing round one. I'm going to go the Blues. I think this is going to be a white hot game from the start. It's going to be up and down. We'll definitely have to see, does Mason Cox get going for Collingwood,
You
but
bet you he does. Four
I'm
goals.
I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Carlton on this one, but I think this could be an absolutely great game to start off round two.
I want to roll with the Blues on this one too, Donnie, just because what we saw from Carlton, they played a very competitive game from the best team in the AFL right now after round one. I mean, the defending premiership winners, okay, the defending flag winners, they look good in that one. And their biggest mistake, like we mentioned, was the turnovers. Collingwood is, although very stout defensively, this is a team you can get away with those turnovers a little more than you can against Richmond. And those are a lot of those turnovers were mental mistakes. Those are round one. Those are knocking the rust off. Even though you have the Amy, it's different. I think they're going to be able to at least clean up the game a little bit. And I like what Carlton has. I like their chances in this game. I'm gonna keep with the Blues as well. Another game where two huge teams, two finalists from last year, one grand finalist, they have to avoid going 0-2. This is a, can you imagine? You're already round two, and this is a game that might make or break a season between Geelong and Brisbane. Who's win the big one?
I'm gonna go with Brizzy on this one. The loss of Dangerfield, not having Cameron, I think, like I said, I think Brisbane had the better performance of the two. I think Brisbane just needs to tighten up a little bit more defensively. I think if Danaher can get going, if you can get Cameron out of his funk a little bit, I think they've got the scoring to be able to stay with Geelong. So I am going to take the Brisbane Lions on this one.
Man, it sounds bad. I'm gonna copy you on this one too, Donnie. And I feel like this isn't going to be just the second game I take the same pick on because no, you hit the nail on the head. No Dangerfield against a really good Brisbane team that played a solid game against Sydney, and they're going to come out really hungry against this one. You got the whole footy world saying, "Oh, they didn't want this game." Well, Brisbane going, "What? You said we didn't want it? Here, we're going to want it in this one." And they're I could see them taking this one against Geelong. This loss to Patrick Dangerfield is really going to hurt Geelong in the long run. And man, unless you're one just become the seventh team to do so, it could be a rough season for you, Cat supporters there. Third game is two teams 1-0 coming off of wins over these two teams. We got the Sydney Swans against the Adelaide Crows, two of some of the best teams in the league already. Donnie, who's going? I mean, I did not think I was going to be able to say that sentence. But who do you got in this one? You taking your bloods?
Oh man, the SCG is going to be red and white, and it is going to be loud. And I think that is really going to help the Swannies. I am not homer picking on this one. I liked what I saw last week, and if we see the same performance, if Buddy steps in and has a good game, I don't think Adelaide has the defensive ability to stop Sydney. If Errol Goulden has another good game, Tom Hickey, their ruckman had an absolutely outstanding first game in the Bloods colors, and I think he's going to have a really fun rucking matchup there in the middle. I'm going to go the Swans this one, not homerish. I'm a little bit more bullish on this team. They've got me believing. I really liked what I saw. Um, Normally I would continue the tipping against them because I
Mm-hmm.
thought it seemed to work, but I'm gonna give them the nod here. My only worry is that they have had some struggles winning at the SDG the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of years, but I don't know. There's just something about the vibe with this team that I'm really liking, so I'm gonna go with the Swans in this one.
I just think Sydney, in terms of performances in round one, I believe Sydney put on the better performance. Adelaide, I mean, we already gave them a lot of credit. Don't want to take anything away. Great game against, but what was an injured Geelong team? You could argue that Brisbane was the better opponent than Geelong. There's a reason we're both picking Brisbane in round two. I almost say hot with Sydney. This is going to be an electric game, and like you said, being at home, that's really going to propel them. A team that played really hard on the road. Imagine how much harder they're going to play in front of those 50,000. So how many people they fit?
If I remember correctly, they're going to get 36,000 into the SCG.
36,000
Yep.
crazy screaming fans. I think that's going to do it for him. And I love it. This game isn't even, it starts before 9 p.m. my time. So
Hmm.
it's one, I'll be able to watch a couple of these games live. I'm excited. So I'm
Yep.
taking Sydney with this one. And
A 9:45 my time on a Friday night. I am going to thoroughly enjoy it. That'll be a lot of fun to watch
now,
that
now,
one.
now this next one though, do we even really need to talk about that? Port Adelaide, Essendon. Port Adelaide's winning. We said that like Adelaide and Geelong was a trap game. It ended up being right. This might be a trap game, but no. Port Adelaide's gonna run through poor Essendon.
Yeah, I'm. It's going to be at the Adelaide Oval. Port is so difficult to be in the Adelaide Oval. I think Essendon benefited a little bit last week from playing a weaker Hawthorne team. So I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you. I'm also going to go Port on that one for sure. And let me introduce this next one. This one's
Ooh,
going to be a
please.
doozy at Marvel Stadium, St Kilda v Melbourne. Who do you have? Do the Sainers win another one, or does Melbourne continue and go 2-0?
This is kind of a tough one, isn't it? Because of course we don't have one game to go off of. But yeah, St Kilda winning a great scrappy game against GWS. You had Melbourne beating up on a depleted Fremantle team. So that's why I respect the team that beats the Giants. St Kilda is going to show that the Giants aren't that bad of a team. They're going to lose to who's going to become a 2-0 team. St Kilda is going to get her done in this one against the Demons. I believe that. What about you though?
Oh, great minds must think alike. I also have
We're
the
taking
Saints.
another one.
I have the Saints as well. I think this Melbourne team again. I'm just not sure about them. I agree with you. Beating Frio team that's so injury prone. I don't like putting a lot of stock into that game. Again, St. Kilda is also just has so many injuries, but I think they've just got so much talent. They've recruited really well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they have just a little too much. I'm interested to see how Gone goes up against the young ruckman of St. Kilda here. I think this could be one of those where St. Kilda's midfield has to neutralize Max Gone as much as possible. Because if not, Max Gone can really give a lot of teams headaches because he's such a good ruck. He can put the
Yep.
ball wherever he wants. And Christian Petraka is an absolute gun. St. Kilda has to find a way to neutralize that midfield and make sure that they get just as much of the footy off their ruck taps as Melbourne, because if not, it could get ugly. This is one I agree with you. This was really difficult to choose.
Mm-hmm.
This one is one of those I've circled as I'm going with St. Kilda, but Melbourne is a hot tip on this one as well. I've seen a lot of people tipping Melbourne in this one.
And I think there's a closer game than this one too. The next game though is going to be Gold Coast against North Melbourne, and I did really like the way Gold Coast played against the Eagles. I obviously did not like the way North Melbourne played against the Port Adelaide. This one isn't too big of a pick for me. You got the Winspoon contenders with this one. I'm taking Gold Coast.
I'm going to take the Suns as well. I think the Suns just have a little bit too much
Man,
talent. I think
which game are we going to disagree on?
I don't know. We'll definitely have to. Well, there's a couple of them
I
coming up
think
that
I
might that
think
could, that
I
could
know
get
which one we're
interesting. We'll
going to
definitely
disagree on.
we'll
I think I
definitely
know.
have to see here for sure. I'm pretty much guessing that the next one's probably going to be the same way. Hawthorne hosting Richmond.
Ooh,
Um,
wait, no,
uh, uh,
no, Donnie. Don't get me wrong. My pick for the Win Spoon, they have a chance against the best team in the league. Uh, no, they don't. This is going to be, it's going to be a murder, isn't it?
Hawthorne, how
Oh,
how 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 the mighty will fall. Unfortunately,
sorry,
I see
guys.
Richmond winning this one, and Richmond could win this quite heavy, but I don't know. Clarko always seems to find a way sometimes to give some of the better teams a test. So don't be surprised if this game's a tiny bit closer. I'm gonna tip Richmond, but I'm gonna keep an eye on that one
Yep.
because that one's gonna be quite interesting to see how that one goes. And then a quite interesting one down at Marvel as the Western Bulldogs host the West Coast Eagles.
I really
The
think this is going to be
Eagles
the closest game
flying
of the
over from
round.
W. Oh, I completely
I
agree. I
think
think
so.
this could be the game of the round. I think this is going to be the one I'm the most intrigued to
Hmm.
watch. Who do you have in this one, Western or West Coast?
Oh, it's real tough on this one because man, that doggies midfield looked great. They were getting the ball around well. They played a good defensive team in Collingwood, like we were talking about. But West Coast, so they were able to go up and grind out a tough game against Gold Coast and really put on the scoring there at the end. Oh, this is the hardest one for
Mhm.
me. Harder than St Kilda and Melbourne. I'm gonna roll with the team that I was hot on in our prediction show in the finals. A team that a lot of people are hot on too. West Coast. Let's go get it done against the doggies.
We finally have our first disagreement.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna
I
go.
knew it was going to happen. Knew
I'm
it.
gonna go the doggies on this one just because again West Coast traveling over to Victoria is
Mhm.
never an easy travel. It's the one thing that a lot of the out of Melbourne teams, out of state Melbourne teams, always it's always an interesting discussion hearing how many of them can travel to Victoria all the time and actually play well. And considering West Coast does it every other week, it's always fun to see. I think this Western Bulldogs team just they're so good.
Mhm.
This is your litmus test. Collingwood was kind of the appetizer. This is your first part of your main course of the season. You win this game and you win
That's
this game
huge.
impressive.
Yeah.
You're starting to be put into that place where you're with the Richmonds and the Ports as the flag contender. Like I think there's still a little bit of doubt on this Western
See,
Bulldogs
to me,
team.
I
So,
think this is just a huge prove it game more than anything,
uh,
especially to that midfield. If they're able to at least try to get close to expectation, I know they're very lofty expectations that were set at the beginning of the season, but if they can at least get close to that against a solid West Coast team,
mhm.
they're going to be a team that's going to have a lot of respect put on them, and they're going to be a team that people look up at, like they see their we're playing this team next week. Oh boy, let's buckle down.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's you have elite Rockman and Nick Nat versus elite midfield with Trelaw, Bontempelli, and Dunkley. So it's going to be an absolutely electric game for sure. That is going to be the game that is the cannot miss game of the round. Finally, sir,
Hmm.
last one,
Frio and
last one.
GWS, and
Oh,
I'm just gonna say,
Doctor Man, and you have your first gonna have your first heated discussion when it comes to this one.
I guess so because I mean, two teams is suffering from injuries. One obviously suffering from way more of those injuries, and all I gotta say, hey, GWS, please please actually win this game because if you don't win this game, I'm not sure which one you're gonna win unless it's against a team like Hawthorne or Essendon. The GWS realistically, I mean Fremantle, if they lose this game, they have like kind of a pass. It's like, oh, you guys, you're missing half your roster. You're gonna have to. I mean, I've seen the jokes going around. Oh, you're going to reach into your women's team to pull up some players from them, and so you can actually make the 25 man. But uh, they have excuse to lose this game. If GWS, I know you're a little injured. You're not nearly as injured. If you don't win this game, there's it's season over at this point. So it might be out of hope, might be out of just gut feeling. GWS, they get this done.
Oh man, this is interesting. Ready for this?
Oh
I am
please.
also going to jump on the giant. I am
Oh
going
my
to
god.
put my faith in the Giants. I think the injury issues,
Mm-hmm.
the travel from, if I remember correctly, I believe this game is in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the travel from Western Australia over to the eastern part of the country is
Yep.
never easy for the outer state teams.
Yeah, it's gonna
Um,
be taking place at Optus.
yep. So there's just more. Oh no, so it's in
So
Western Australia
they're
then.
going. Oh no, they're going to the west. Oh.
If it's over in Optus, it's over in
Mm,
Western
yeah.
Australia. So that gives Frio a little bit of an advantage there. But I'm gonna go. Yep, it is an Optus
Yep.
Stadium. Just
Thank you for
Um,
fact checking me. I appreciate
no,
you.
no, no, no. You're good. No, you're good. I'm still gonna go GWS just because I think that GWS has a few more of their normal everyday stars there. Frio has trouble scoring. GWS has a little bit less trouble scoring. So I see a little bit more there. GWS is like this is going to be just an absolute slugfest.
Is
This could be a low scoring game if both
I
teams
think this
play
is
the
going to be
way
more of
they
a
could.
battle of attrition more than
Oh,
anything. Who can
exactly.
be the
Yep.
less injured in this one?
Yep.
Jeez.
This one's going to be goal accurate. I think goal accuracy is going to make or break this game.
Hey,
Is if
Green,
you can
you better
kicks
be
three or
accurate
four.
this week, damn it.
Yep. Three or four behinds could absolutely kill you in this game. So I'm gonna go GWS. Dockerman, I love you, but I kind of agree. The hex on your team right now is a little intimidating when it comes to tipping, unfortunately. So I'm going to tip GWS.
Thank God you said that, Donnie. Give me a little bit more hope, and I am going to need it.